Hey, Margarita, how are you doing?
Hello, dear Agnes. I'm really, really good. And you?
I'm good, thank you. Excited about this whole dreams come true idea. When did we start? We started 5 years ago.
Or maybe more than that.
What is dreams come true about? How did it came to life? What's your intention? What's your message to the world with it?
A big question. I want to give a very short and simple answer. To me, the development of the concept of dreams come true Ibiza that we did a few months ago was and is still a necessary community project. I feel it is necessary for the changing times, the transformative times we are living, to give more practical, logical, and spiritual inputs to the consciousness of people about who they are, where they come from, but most of all, who they want to be, and according to all of this, which actions they want to take, and the degree of responsibility they are willing to take. The degree of responsibility you are choosing or allowing to give yourself in everything that you think, that you live, and that you do. So, the more responsibility you give to yourself, the higher degree of liberty and freedom and spiritual power also and consciousness you are allowing to come to you. And I felt back in the days, but I still feel it now, that we have made some improvements in the individual and collective consciousness. However, it's still too slow. It's true that we always say time doesn't exist, but it is also true that there is a relationship between the metaphysical connection between time, space, consciousness, values, emotions, and the actions and decisions that you take. Too many people still today are refusing to listen to the call of their consciousness, live a life in standby. On one side, you have the free will to do so. On the other side, we have reached a critical level of consciousness. It is super important for people to understand that by taking decisions and actions in their own life, they are influencing everything and everyone out there. Too many people are hiding behind the excuse that they have free will not to do what their consciousness is telling them to do. This is no good, because responsibility is the key aspect and energy that we are called to learn and implement in our lives in the here and now. So basically, this is what the project is about. In order for me to help people doing these things without fear, in a fun way, enjoyable way, we developed an event in Ibiza. The idea is to develop more events around the world. So we are totally working on this. On the other side, I am very much into education, delivering topics for reflection like we are doing with this video to the people that want to listen. Maybe after that start a self-reflection But also I am into education in schools with a charity that I collaborate with. So they are educational projects for children in primary schools. My main activity has been in London so far, but I'm very happy to tell you that I will also start these activities in Rome this month. It is a very important sign, apart from me being very happy to do that in Italy, and is a good sign because it means that the consciousness of this country is ready for this. So I believe all these tools, all these ways of spreading contributions for reflection, for thinking, for challenging maybe sometimes yourself and your mind and your belief are all the ways that we have been creating, delivering to people for so long now, hopefully with good results, with good vibes also. The important thing for me is not to make anyone change their minds or themselves. It's just exploring themselves and take really responsibility for who you decide that you want to be. You really become what you decide to be, and it's up to you. Tools and social moments of coming together with fun in a loving way are just one of the ways to create again, or maybe for the first time, an authentic, soft, gentle, sweet, compassionate, happy, serene human environment for people to come together and to be or become human beings again. Because I feel this is the real issue. In this society, a lot of hearts have been closed. They are not shining like they are supposed to, because to shine, you don't need to do anything. You just need to allow yourself to be. So it's not about doing, it's just acknowledging what the situation is and be very honest and gentle with yourself. No judgment, no punishment. I've never been a fan of punishment approaches. And just understand what you want to bring, move it forward, because it is part of the best version or happiest version of yourself that you love the most. You can keep a lot of good things from the past, from your ancestors, from your previous way of living, but you may not be super happy with other ways that, or other programming that are present on your maybe historical and genetic lines. And these are also energies that are causing conflicts within yourself, others, your family, your partner, even the relationship between yourself and the creator or the universe. So when you have the courage and take the responsibility, when you are ready to look into these things, the deeper you go into this, the happier you will be. The other thing that I would like to start communicating and telling people in a more detailed way is why this is all important. The reason why is if you have understood, maybe not with your rational mind, but with your intuitive mind or with your heart, that your ancestors, your parents, your relatives, your kids, even your siblings, anyone is more or less, maybe someone, you can see this in a bigger percentage, let's say, in other people is just a smaller amount of this kind of energies. But when you understand that all these people are facet of yourself, just an expression of yourself in a different form and shape, understand anytime you decide to be in conflict or at war with someone else, you are actually being at war or in conflict with yourself. I would really like to go deeper into what being a mirror means, because we are now used to this way of saying, but do we really get the meaning?
I don't think so. And I think people are misusing it because it just doesn't feel right when they say that. I can't put my finger on it, but that can't be true.
So this is the reason why we will have a special guest from Ibiza. She has been recording the teachings. Her little daughter, who is now 1 year or 1 year something, she is really young, but we know that the kids are the masters. The kids are the most updated version of ourselves. In the same way as we can see our grandparents or our parents, maybe a previous version of ourselves. And maybe from an energy or spiritual point of view, for some people it can be easy to get it. We know that our DNA in the biological body, according to what science and medicine is teaching us, comes from our mother and our father. So it is biologically true that we are part of them. We are unique human beings. We are also part of them. Parents put a lot of expectations on their children because subconsciously they know that their kids are a new and improved version of themselves. So maybe they attach all these strings to the kids about all the things that they were not able to achieve or do in their own life. If we start to put biology and spiritual science together, allowing these disciplines to work together so that we can also get a lot of messages from them, we can see all these processes. We can understand ways of behaving in the good things, the bad things that we do. I believe this conversation will be very helpful as a starting point also to all the people that maybe in this very moment are not at peace with themselves or with somebody else, or are victims of violence or conflicts, or are in the middle of conflicts. This often happens to children put in the middle of personal conflicts between parents or families. We have a lot of ancient and not so ancient literature about that. Poems, theatrical operas, and songs. We have plenty of materials about this. But the thing is, nobody really stops and try to understand why this is happening and how we can stop it. We all know this is true because we are surrounded by children, relating to children from a spiritual and consciousness point of view, giving them a lot of respect. This is why it's not just a belief, but we know that the kids that are coming, they are really honoring us of their presence, which is a very advanced consciousness presence. And because we know this, we have removed all the limits and limitations that unfortunately a lot of adults and other people still have about kids, because they still think in an old way that the older you are, the wiser you are. This concept has to be transformed because kids are actually the latest update and upgrade of not just the software but the hardware. The key point in having this conversation with Liana is she honors her daughter as the master that she is and doesn't treat her daughter like an adult dealing with someone inferior. It is a totally different relationship with kids and young people. Because of this relationship, she is allowing the upgraded and updated hardware to work with the highest consciousness software possible that her daughter is bringing to her. And this is the way for me to transform the world, the consciousness, the individual consciousness, starting from the family, the kids, the individuals, then the society, the educational system, and so on. For me, this testimony from Liana, the most practical and useful thing that I can share with everyone for them to understand what seeing, envisioning, and living in a new world, meaning a new consciousness in this reality means.